My name's Crisis Child, and you're watching GFG TV.
West. This your boy Big Ray West, and you're tuned in to GFG TV. Who do we have the privilege of sitting down here with today?
My name's Crisis Child. I am a solo nu metal artist out of Des Moines, Iowa.
So for people discovering Crisis Child for the first time, how would you describe who Crisis Child is and what you're trying to create musically?
So Crisis Child is just like most writers and artists. It's just my other half, my other persona, and it's how he is how I express myself in different situations and scenarios. He's sort of like my own yang, or whichever one the negative of the yin and the yang is, because he is the one that's not afraid to say the things that I don't really want to say, and that's where he speaks up, and that's where the writing comes in. I write down the things that I don't, wouldn't normally, because when you write it down, you can turn it into sort of more of like an artistic sort of outreach, and it doesn't sound as, I don't know, preachy.
Abrasive.
Yeah, abrasive. Thank you.
You can be rude and be appreciated.
Yes, exactly.
So you describe yourself as a solo nu metal artist from Des Moines.
Yeah.
What does nu metal mean to you in 2026, and where do you think Crisis Child fits within that or breaks that barrier?
So nu metal, the cool thing about, and this is how I've always felt ever since I first discovered nu metal back when I was like a teenager, back when Korn first showed up, and then Limp Bizkit showed up, and all those other bands. I feel like nu metal is one of the peak epitomes of the mixed genre, where you can take the elements of electronic and the elements of metal, the elements of rap, and even some aspects, the elements of hip hop, and put it all into one funky but heavy sound. And when I first started discovering music, I was introduced to more than one kind of music, all up front. Like, I was introduced to punk and hip hop music, because I born in the 80s, raised in the 90s,
Mm-hmm. That's a big time for that genre.
Yeah, and that's sort of where the attitude comes from. Fuck the law, fuck the man, that sort of attitude, because that's punk and hip hop and punk and rap and all, they kind of have the same message, and then I already knew what heavy metal was, but I really wasn't into a lot of heavy metal. I don't really like a whole lot of heavy metal of the 80s or early 90s.
So like more hair band metal, you're not into?
Nah.
So you're more into the new, would you say screamer style?
Yeah, like
style.
Okay.
Like Slipknot,
Slipknot's alright. Yeah.
Just like the heavy.
Well, both.
Okay.
Like I was just talking at band practice yesterday. One of the first metal bands that I remember being like, yeah, that's okay, yeah. And yeah, I discovered them because of the movie Ace Ventura, but the band Cannibal Corpse. Okay. I don't know if you remember that movie, but the heavy metal band that's playing in the one scene when he goes to the club, that's Cannibal Corpse.
All right.
And I remember my older brother, he's like, oh yeah, I have one of their CDs, and I stole it from him. And I was like, you don't need this.
CD era is savage, man.
Yeah, especially when, you lived in a house full of siblings, and we all had to kind of fight over the stereo, and but yeah, and so that's when and that's why I discovered like legitimate heavy metal, in my opinion, because my dad listened to a lot of that like hair metal 80s stuff. I didn't like it. I remember sitting in the back of his freaking car and just being like, Motley Crue was a band that he listened to a lot.
Yeah.
And
not your style.
No, not my style. Not fast enough, not fast and heavy enough.
Yeah.
You said you were fascinated by how music can change the ambiance of a scene, moment, or narrative. When you write a song, do you usually start by imagining a scene or a story, or does the music itself come first?
So, this is one of my favorite questions. So, I like to. So, what Crisis and I tend to do a lot, if we're kind of struggling with how we want to deliver a certain thing we're writing, I have a song called "Stab," and it really isn't. It's really not a song about killing people. Like even though like the lyrics are like "run, run, run, stab, 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 kill, 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 die, die, die." It's really not a song about killing. It's actually a song about obsession. And I was like, how do I want to write this? So I put myself in sort of like the frame of mind of one of my favorite like fake serial killers from the movies, which is Ghostface from the Scream movies, which is also why the song is called "Stab." Reason why like Ghostface has always been one of my favorite fictional killers is because he can be anyone. He literally is just anyone because every movie is someone different.
Yeah. Faceless, for sure. Yeah.
And so that's sort of like part of my writing style. And then as far as like the fascination with how it just changes like the ambiance and stuff is because movies is really how I really started to really fall in love with music. It was like movie soundtracks actually. Like the Dangerous Minds soundtrack was actually one of the very first CDs I ever owned.
Yeah, that's legendary, right?
Yeah, and that was a great sound.
What this is all about?
But like, it's just such a broad question. It's hard for me to really elaborate on. But like,
Thanks for doing well.
So really, I when I'm writing, one thing I really like to do, and it really helps with the ambiance and all of that with the writing portion of it, is I will a lot of times I'll have some sort of movie playing in the background muted. It's like 'cause I can't concentrate if it's going. But it's always a movie that I love, not like just something random. Like if I need to write something kind of dark, I'll turn on like Halloween, the original, and I'll put that like sort of behind me, and I'll occasionally look over my shoulder and stuff. If I want to write, if I'm like okay, so like I've been getting really anxious and almost depressed lately with like the weird race wars that are just igniting again.
Yeah, for sure.
And a song that me and Jesse are currently working on is essentially about that. And in fact, I actually made the music for it, the beat and everything. And I ended up sampling the movie that I just sort of had on in the background, to sort of like, and it's from American History X. And because one of the things that, I mean, it wasn't actually Edward Furlong's speech, but he's giving Abraham Lincoln's speech at the end. That it's just always kind of stuck with me,
Yeah.
And yeah, sorry, I'm digressing.
No, for sure. Your influences are definitely rooted in movies.
Yeah, that's where a lot of it, movies and a little bit of video games. More or less, when the video game part of it comes in when I'm like actually making, not the words, when I'm making like the sounds for like the music.
Okay, that's cool. You like to integrate sounds classic sounds from video games.
Yeah, I've got one I'm working on right now. It's got, I used an 8-bit sequencer for 2 of the lines in it, and then I've got a sample from one of my favorite video games, one of the Castlevania games.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it's and it's got a real gothic-y feel to it, sort of like the Castlevania games.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I draw my influences from stuff like that, well, I guess not my influences, but like my writing and how I write it. like the songs themselves aren't about the movie or the game or anything, you know.
Right.
It's about something else, like Stab's about obsession, or I have a song called Silent Passenger, which was actually a song that I was hired to do for a movie. It was supposed to be on the soundtrack of a movie that ended up never happening. It's the movie was based off of a short story by Stephen King called not something Silent Passenger is my song. I forget what the movie's called now, but what the story's about is a guy picks up a hitchhiker and starts confessing a bunch of stuff to this hitchhiker who he presumably thinks is mute. And during his confession, he's confessing about how his wife's having an affair, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, and then as the story progresses, and he's him and the hitchhiker go their separate ways. Well, now wife and the affair end up dead, and it wasn't the husband. Wrote that Silent Passenger song from another perspective, writing from the perspective of the villain of that particular story.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you also have influences from 90s punk and rap.
Yeah.
You like Pennywise, early Offspring are some of your influences. So what does the 90s punk give to you that you still carry into your Crisis Child today?
Again, the attitude. I mean, there isn't really a whole lot of new punk. It's all the punk you see now is the stuff that's just been around. They're just still doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just how I deliver, my feelings towards, not to sound cliche, the man, and it helps. And the older I get, I mean, I've always had this conspiracy that, been one of the conspiracists that like the president isn't really the guy that runs the country. He's just the face, you know? And that's what a lot of that music, was essentially about. That's why we've always said, don't listen to him. He's not even the one. I mean, he's saying it, but he's not the one saying it, and that's sort of what, I've always held on to that from essentially that music, and like I've still, even at my later age now, I've still got authoritative issues. I know you've probably seen it at some of our shows. Like, it still really, influences just how I view the world and stuff. And because that's really how I view the world. It's a weird, screwed up place, and we're not in control.
With influences like Ice Cube, Coolio, Bone Thugs, and Wu-Tang, what kind of game did you pick up from those guys?
I didn't really pick up a lot of anything from Wu-Tang. I actually love listening to them because they put me in a good mood.
Yes, sir.
But like Bone Thugs and Coolio, you notice like that was something like that darker rap. They were the ones that were doing that sort of darker rap before horrorcore really became, a thing. And then, years later, Brother Lynch. I discovered him, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, there's rap like this? And I was sold, So a lot of like my rap influences and shit come from more like the darker side. Like there's definitely some lyrical stylings that I picked up off of listening to Bone Thugs throughout my life. Like when I started trying to really, learn how to rap faster, and I was just listening to Eternal 1999 a lot.
Oh, yeah.
To really like try to like. Granted, I don't think I'm saying anything correct, but
Sound good, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what they say. You get paid for an attempt.
Right.
So you also have influences like Fear Factory and Korn. Can you talk about that? Them being a little bit heavier and
yeah. So Fear Factory, man. When I heard them on back when the radio still played like do stuff instead of
The repeat.
yeah,
repeats
then
that
instead of like the
right
same repeated playlist
now. They
every
just can't
hour.
afford the catalog anymore.
I guess,
I don't
but-
think they can because the cost is great
Yeah.
to rent those, right?
Yeah.
And then they don't have they don't have the worldwide listeners that they used to.
No, well, because of Spotify and Apple Music and all
It
that.
used to be they used to get a give and listen in a car because you turn your car on and where did it automatically normally go? To stop car, you got a radio in, it's just gonna pop the radio on, so somebody gets a free listen, you know. So they've got you're a worldwide one of their million listeners at that point. Now you turn a car on and everything's all smart and it's just flipping right to your phone and it's going to your YouTube or whatever music app that you got.
Satellite radio.
Yeah, whatever. It even maybe built in too. Still,
Yeah.
that stuff. Even satellite radio is probably a thing of the past with how Spotify's integrating and everything. You know.
But Fear Factory was probably my very first real experience with industrial metal, which is where you take, heavy metal and add, sort of a more of a grindage sort of sound to it, along with some electronica mixed in. What that particular genre has evolved into is amazing, by the way. There's bands like The Browning now, and that
I've
would
heard of them.
check them out if you like
I'll have to get the spelling of that.
The Browning. Just like
Oh, okay. So I thought it was like all one word. Like I thought you said the Brownie.
no, sorry, no,
The
The
Browning.
Browning.
Okay,
Like
I'll
just
check it out.
fucking
I
good
have heard
stuff.
of a band out of Florida that's pretty heavy. Who is that? I'll have to look it up on my phone. You'll have to. We'll come back to
Yeah,
it.
The Browning does a really. They've actually Johnny does all the music and stuff. He does a really good job of combining like dance, metal, and even like some rap in some of the songs. But anyway, I digress again. Because I like too many genres of music to just make one specific kind. I've been getting more into making my own background music again, like beats and shit.
Right.
And that's kind of where bands like Fear Factory come into play, because I really like mixing like the heavy chords and the heavy riffs on top of like the synthesizers and stuff. I'm still not into using a whole lot of live drums. I still really like the electronic sounding drums.
Synths and stuff.
But I'll probably break into that eventually. I mean, I won't be doing it myself, but I got a drummer that'll do it for me.
For like live stuff too.
Yeah.
Would you like move towards that?
That is something I'm moving towards. I'm actually finally thinking about doing a live band now.
Fire.
There's something so aesthetic about a live band.
Yeah,
It's hard to make it work because a lot of working pieces.
Well,
Obviously, you have equipment.
we
you
were,
have people, you have.
we were speaking about, just for a brief second, we were talking about Cold Saint a second ago.
Yeah.
He's got the guys from Agony Defeat doing live band stuff for him, and yeah, I mean him by himself is but the band behind him makes it just it just adds a really gnarly aesthetic to it.
Hell yeah.
And plus, I'm getting to a point where it's getting harder for me to really like rock out on stage, so I can bring some more people.
Some energy.
Yeah.
I think that would is something that could bring another level of performance to the Des Moines scene.
Oh yeah.
Is having a band that would come in and do the backing for these tracks for people instead of just having.
City's got plenty
and it would
of.
maybe fill the void of lack of venues because people may be more willing to host with a live band, rather than just saying, you know what I mean, because I think we get a moniker sometimes to where they don't want to host things. I think that maybe would open some windows. Maybe.
Hey.
You never know.
So you've been connected to the Des Moines live scene for years, with documented performances going back to 2015 at Vaudeville Muse. What do you remember about Crisis Child in those early days?
Oh man, Um, so we first met at during the Crazy Cafe days, didn't we?
I believe so.
I was, man, I was not in a good place back then. I was really not in a good place back then at all. Crisis took over the majority of the time, and we got in a lot of trouble back then. Vaudeville was a great place. I miss that place. We've come a long way, not just lyrically and presentively, but even sort of spiritually. We used to get really bent out of shape over stuff back then, and that was also, I mean, it was a lot more stressful back then too, because we were still dealing with the a lot of pay to play stuff back then. And I don't know if you're familiar with what pay to play is. Let's just ballpark. They give you 20 tickets, and let's say you sell 18 of them. You got to pay for those last two.
That's the way MMA worked when I was.
Yeah. And that, I mean, making up for like 2 unsold tickets isn't so bad, but like, we've all had those shows where like the only people that buy anything from us are our regulars.
Yeah, man.
and
I don't realize how hard it is to sell tickets, bro.
yeah. And when you can't, and it happens, and what sucks is I don't think a lot of, well, back then, I don't think a lot of the promoters back then really realized like how hard that was on us, and like how stressful, especially those of us who didn't have like a 5-6 piece band doing it along with us.
You take some, you take some, you take some,
Mm-hmm.
you take some, and then we all meet in the middle.
Right. Like anytime I'm handed a stack of tickets, it's me. Like all me. So I was a very bitter performer back then.
Okay.
Not so much these days.
How has the Des Moines music scene changed since you first started performing, and what do you think it gets right that other cities might not?
Man, as much as I love the Des Moines music scene, it can sometimes be quite the roller coaster. We are fortunately right now and we've been in a phase where everyone's just kind of getting along. And I like seeing that. I mean, I've seen it where everyone's at each other's throats and everyone's against one another, and everyone thinks that, this person thinks that they're better than them. And I'm like, well, no one really thinks that. I mean, I'm sure there are people, but
They're playing nicely in
Yeah.
public anyway.
but like, no, I'm noticing there's been a lot less. I think it's because there's just a lot of BS going on in the world. No one is really worried about what everyone else is doing right now. But yeah, I've noticed there's been a real community about it lately, and it's kind of a relief, because I've been through the phases of our scene where people don't like one another, and it's weird because we were just playing a show together, and we got a awesome, there's more than one, obviously, but we got an awesome group of promoters now.
Yeah.
Even guys from out of town that work here all the time. And I think that helps a lot too. Because the ones that we have now are way more understanding. Because we got a lot of, what was it? I thought we did. We had some folks that were, working with the promoters that were actually also in bands, so they get it, It's just the unity, I guess, is what I'm noticing more lately. Is there's been more of a unity in the community, and it's just nice to see compared to 10 years ago.
So you've shared bills with artists ranging from Eyes Set to Kill, Head PE, Primer 55, Smile Empty Soul, Dropout Kings. Is there a particular show that this pops in your head when I say any of that?
Mm-hmm. So Dropout Kings, I know people are getting tired of me talking about them, but Dropout Kings are my boys. They went from just being a band that I really like to like being the homies, and I've got music with them now and stuff. One of my most, and it's gonna be, I've already said this to you, I'm never gonna stop talking about this. There's a band out of Japan called Hanabi. They were doing their first headlining North America tour. I was asked to be the primary opening slot, the only opening slot for their show. We sold out. And in fact, Lefties was actually over capacity. There were people that were like waiting outside for other people to leave so they could come in.
That's crazy.
I got to perform with Black Cat Bill of Dropout Kings. It was right after we put our first song out together.
Black Cat Bill's a wild boy.
He is.
Oh,
he really is.
High level energy is just through the roof.
Yeah. And for those watching, if you've heard of Dropout Kings and you know who Black Cat Bill is, go check out his solo music. His solo music is so amazing.
Is he on some rapper shit or no?
Yeah, it's all rap.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all rap.
Idea.
Yeah, it's great stuff too.
Okay. Shout out Black Cat Bill.
Yeah, Black Cat Bill. Rest in peace, Adam Ramey. But yeah, that Hanabi show was a lot of fun. Really hot. You've been to Lefties many a times. It gets really hot in there. There's a couple of moments. I remember there was a moment while BCB and I were doing our song where like I remember just like looking out at the crowd, and he was doing like his verse and there were still people staring at me, and I'm like, oh my God, I got this amazing dude up here with his amazing flow, and they're still intrigued with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
hell yeah.
That's
and
a
that
good feeling.
yeah, and that was one of the last times. It's one of the best times that me and Cellar Boys performed together too. Rest in peace, Scooty Whoop. Yeah, that was just an amazing show all around. And for those who couldn't be there, man, I'm sorry. You should have been. But yeah, and I've played a bunch of shows. I mean, with DOK. We just did one back in, was it April? With Ritz.
Nice.
Ritz and Dropout.
Ritz is dope. I like Ritz.
He's
Been
a
a fan of his for a while.
Ritz is really awesome live.
Yeah, I've heard he's a really good performer.
Hmm.
I just haven't got to get out to anything in the longest. Ever since I went to some live shows and then had kids, and ever since I've had kids, I've just been at home. I've been at home.
You've also played benefit shows such as Riffs for a Cure. How important is it for you to be a part of shows where music is being used for something bigger than entertainment?
I really like doing those ones. Riffs for a Cure. That was a benefit show to raise money for breast cancer. And we all love breasts, so I was 100% on board to be a part of that. And I actually ended up meeting some people because of that event that have turned into sort of lifelong friends. And then my favorite benefit shows that I've ever done, in fact, me and a promoter, we've been sort of talking about, because I really want to do. Did you ever do any of the Toys for Tots ones back in the day?
I didn't.
So I've been wanting really badly to do a Toys for Tots benefit show for Christmas.
I think I actually.
Where admission, you could pay admission with a toy donation.
I did one actually with Rebel Mind Entertainment.
Okay.
Disobey. We did one at Lefties.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like we did.
I've done a couple with Archangel way back in the day. Out at
Lambert.
Yeah. I didn't want to.
Jesse Lambert.
I wasn't gonna say his name, but anyway.
They didn't hear that.
But anyway, those were a lot of fun, and then we ended up, me and another group of buddies ended up doing another one. It ended up being really successful, and we just did it out of someone's garage. The whole show was out of like a garage show, and the most rewarding part about that wasn't even the performance part. was taking the toys to Blank Children's Hospital.
That's dope.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Because not because of cancer or anything, but I was in and out of hospital when I was a child because of health conditions that sort of have to do with the dwarfism stuff. And there was actually a Christmas where I was in the hospital over Christmas in Iowa City, away from all my family and stuff. So I get it, and that's kind of why I want to do another one at some point.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Look forward to that. So you said one of your biggest highlights will always be making a little extra money on the side just by having fun with your friends.
Yeah.
Why is that perspective important to you?
So, not that they're an influence or anything, but I remember Mark Hoppus of Blink-182 put me in this perspective a long time ago, and that's sort of where I stayed when it comes to the music biz. Is he said I get paid to hang out and make music with my friends. That is the best job in the world.
Yeah, it is.
So since music is basically my side hustle, I wish I was doing it full time and making a living off of it. But that's essentially what I feel like it is. It's having fun while making music and hanging out with my friends while doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's why over the last few years I've been doing more and more songs with other artists. Because for a long time I really didn't do a lot of features and stuff. But then me and the Cellar Boys did our first one together, and then a few months later, I hope I'm doing a timeline right. Then a few months later, me and Black Cat Bill's first song together came out, and I'm like, I'm ready to do more collaboration. It's fun doing it with, versus every single thing being alone.
So let's talk about your discography a little bit. Darkness in the Binary came out in 2021. Looking back at that EP now, what does it reveal about the artist you were becoming?
It definitely shows that I've sobered up quite a bit. And it definitely shows I've lightened up quite a bit too.
Okay.
Because in fact, it was right around that time, because there's stuff that was released before that EP ever came out. I just, when I started putting it out on distro and stuff, I didn't want that old stuff to be out there. My writing style was still sort of like flip-flopping quite a bit, and my darker side was coming off. I'll just say it because I got accused of being a Satanist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I'm like, if you knew anything about me, you would know that's laughable, because I don't worship any god. So I was like, so I took a step back. I'm like, that's probably why they think that, because of how I was, delivering it. And then also, Darkness has, it was also, I was still dealing with heavy grief from the loss of a child.
Sorry to hear that.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. And you can hear it in one of the songs. In fact, the song's called Devil May Cry. Again, people are like, oh, blah, 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 saying this. I'm like, no, I just really like video games.
Yeah.
And there's a video game.
Devil.
And the Darkness in the Binary title, the art did not transition well onto the digital platforms because the album art was actual like hand painted art for that. But Darkness in the Binary is supposed to represent essentially just darkness in all the digital code, with like social media and stuff, and it's not what you think it is. It's a tool that's being used by the higher ups, to essentially turn us against one another. That's what Darkness in the Binary was supposed to mean. But it ended up just coming out as like sort of a sloppy piece of trash. And I leave it up because there's a few songs that people still really like, but I do leave it up because it's a reminder of where I've, come from over the last, several years. Like back then, like I had, like when I was recording, I had to be drinking. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't perform in front of that mic in the studio unless I was buzzed, and I'm not like that anymore. In fact, when I go back and listen to it, and I listen to my like current stuff, I'm like, oh, I can tell I was drinking. So, yeah, that's really why I leave that up, is as a reminder for myself of what you could still be.
So you followed that up with Silent Passenger in 2022. What changed between the two?
Nothing really. I mean, other than like out like life stuff, my thought process, by the time Silent Passenger became a thing, my mind was starting to clear up a little more. It wasn't as foggy. And I don't know. I think that's when Silent Passenger is probably right around the peak of when I went back to like my story perspective writing style. And it's helped. I mean, I've actually I make what I feel like is better music now. So
In 2023, you released an enormous amount of material, including Brigadier, The Crisis Child, Digital Sampler EP, The Strangest Arrangement, Focus, Lettuce, and Stars and Scars. Was that a particularly productive period for you, or were some of those songs simply finally getting their chance to see the light?
So the digital sampler, those are those old songs I was talking about before Darkness. Well, one of them is around the same age, but the digital sampler had a bunch of those unreleased songs that I was doing before Darkness. So that wasn't like necessarily new stuff, but that was a productive year, not just because of all the releases, but that was a busy year show wise.
Yeah.
And that's also when I first started getting away from home recording and going back into the actual studio again. Shout out to Carousel Studios. Amazing
A lot of
people.
good things about
Yeah,
Carousel.
amazing group of people out there. And that's where me and the boys recorded Lettuce. And that definitely, and that's probably why I took his death so hard. That whole experience with them, with the boys, is something that really helped with some of my confidence, because Scooty was a very supportive person.
And when you say the boys, you're referring
I'm referring to Cellar Boys, yeah.
Yeah.
Cellar Boys, sorry. And then yeah, like then the song with Black Cat Bill, my first song, Stars and Scars with Black Cat Bill, was like, I think that was my second in studio experience with Carousel. It was produced by a guy out of the Quad Cities, but it was all mixed by, everyone knows, Dirt Nasty Beats. He did
Shout out to Wu-Tang Baby.
yeah, Dirt Nasty did a great job on both of those songs. Actually, he was the producer and the engineer for Lettuce. Also, the Focus was on that list too, right? Did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the very first song that me and Dirt Nasty Beats ever did together. He was the producer of it, and I remember how it came about. He was like, I already knew who he was, and but I knew him at that time. I knew him more as a rapper.
The Dirt Lord.
Yeah, I knew Dirt Lord. I didn't really know Dirt Nasty Beats so much yet. And he starts posting some of his beats, and then he's talking about, I make horrorcore beats. I'm like, what? Let me hear one. And he sent me the beat to that, and I was like, oh, I want this. And then so that was my first song with Dirt Nasty, and I've done quite quite a handful of them since then. Great guy to work with, really good producer.
So you you did a digital sampler EP
Yeah.
of primarily older footage.
Mhm.
So what was the motivation behind that?
People asked.
Nice.
People kept asking because there's a.
So these were singles possibly beforehand, or just things that you had.
They were, I guess, singles. Yeah, you could call them that. They were on. What was that old platform we always use? SoundCloud.
Okay.
They were on SoundCloud for a while, and people were like, "SoundCloud doesn't work anymore." Blah blah blah. Put them on Spotify. Put them on Spotify. And I always I don't know why I was like, I'll do it eventually because it takes about 5 minutes to upload music.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that took the longest was making that hilarious photo art. That's actually a picture of Sean Connery that I just put a bunch of stickers and stuff on. But yeah, no, that's the only reason why that sampler ended up on Spotify or rolled all the other ones is because people kept asking. There's a song called "You Shouldn't Have," and it's not. I don't ever perform it anymore, but people love it. It's because it's got dirty lyrics, and that was I just got tired of people asking for it. I'm like, okay, fine, here.
For sure.
But what's funny is it's one of the most played songs still.
Yeah.
It's so old and so poorly recorded, and
Still a whole classic. One.
yeah, it is horribly recorded.
Okay, so Lettuce brought the Cellar Boys into the mix. What was the chemistry like working with them, and how did the collaboration come together? Also, what was it like for them to perform the record live with you?
So, how the song came to be is we first met. It might have been opening for one of the times we opened for Rehab.
Okay.
Lefties. And that was when we initially met. And me and Scooty just clicked immediately. And I think it's just because we're both kind of dumb and goofy. And and it was almost a blessing that he was introduced into my life because he helped in a way. He helped me sort of come back out of my shell in a way.
He would give people their flowers.
Yeah.
A lot. You know what I'm saying? When
And there was just his persona would make you kind of feel give you a little bit of confidence,
Yeah.
And so when we went in to record Lettuce, dude, it felt like we've been writing music together for years already. And then I remember we got done with it. And I was like, I was the first one to say it out loud, but we have to perform this. And so we started performing it. Almost if it was just me on the bill, they'd show up and we'd do it. If it was just them, I'd show up. Most of the time, we're both on the same bill anyway. Sure. But it would. Speaking of the mood and ambiance that music does to the room, like I would bring them out and like people would already be happy to see me up there. And then I'd be like, all right, who likes the Devil's Lettuce? And everyone's face would light up. Mm-hmm. And here come the boys and like just smiles, just like a sea of smiles in front of me. And yeah, it was definitely a surreal time. And I feel bad because people, people always want us to perform it still. And we've done it without him. It's just, I'm like, guys, you don't understand how hard that is for us. Like, yeah. But we got, me and Sean got other songs together now. So,
that's fire, man.
Stars and Scars features Black Cat Bill of Dropout Kings. What made Black Cat Bill the right person for that track?
Good question.
I was in the middle of writing it, and he had, him and the guys were, preparing for tour, and he made a post about features. And I was like, hey, he would be perfect for this. And I hit him up. I'm like, hey, I've got this song I'm working on. Here it is. And this is what it's about. And I had a response from him, like within, not even like over, it was like within 24 hours. He was like, oh, I got something for this. And then, and it was perfect. The song, it's essentially about dealing with, because everyone's got that inner monologue that talks shit to them, It's essentially a song about dealing with that. The hook is, when you look in my eyes, do you see the scars, or do you see the stars, or do you see the scars from all the falls? Because when you've got a history, people they don't tend to see the stars behind your eyes. They tend to see the scars that your past has created. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
So, and after hearing, or after like listening to their first album on repeat for like a year and a half straight, I was like, oh yeah, he's got this.
That's cool. So then that eventually followed up Dirt by Dropout King with you. Can you talk about that?
Another song about essentially overcoming yourself, really, and overcoming what people say, think, whatever of you. And it just kind of happened the same way Stars and Scars did. I was in the middle of writing it, and both of them were like, hey, we're both currently doing features right now. And I'm like, oh, well, I've got this song for you.
That's cool.
Dude, Adam was so excited. In fact, the last conversation him and I ever had was about that song. He did an amazing job on that hook, and he had such an angelic voice. And that's another reason why I wanted to work with him, is because I've always been very envious of them freaking singers. Like, I can rap and I can scream. I can't really sing that well.
Yeah. Yep, there's a bag out there. Everybody got a different bag,
So with the weird division going on in society today, how do you manage to turn something so frustrating into music?
Exactly that. I sit down and start writing about the things that are pissing me off.
Yes, sir.
And the society, the fucking race war in society right now is really, it's getting to me, because we both grew up during the same time where we saw the division, and then we saw the unity, and everything was good for a little bit.
You thought you were good.
Yeah.
You thought you were good. You're like, there's love now. We
Yeah.
this love.
I'm like,
shit.
this is awesome.
Enough hate
And
out
then
there. Block that out.
and then someone just walked in, and they're like, fuck this stool, and kicked it out from under us. And
I feel like for me, the most time I felt unity, like I was like, okay, shit might be different. It was after 9/11.
yeah.
Very much so. It was a time where you even felt where America, like you felt American. Like, right? Everybody felt American, right? Is that weird to say?
More so than ever, I would say.
Yeah, because
It was.
I think everybody kind of before that was a little irritated with everything, to where we all just felt like we were just suffering from what was happening around us, kind of like where we
kind of
are
like
right
a
now.
reset button a little bit,
And
Yeah.
and the conspiracy system, you can't help but point the finger at the powers that be, because when we're fighting, they benefit from it.
Yeah.
Every time there's a riot, they get 10 to 15 more police officers the next day,
Does voting matter?
No. Not at all.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, so voting is, in my opinion, voting is sort of like feel-good therapy that you don't have to pay for. I also think that voting is another way for them to track us. Because what do you have to do to vote? Register. And another thing is they've already told us, they've come right out and flat out told us to our fucking face, oh, the Electoral College is who decides who's going to be our next.
Popular vote don't even matter.
Yeah, so so yeah, no votes don't fucking matter. The only time a vote matters is in like the battle of the bands, because that's real voting.
What about at a state level?
No.
Or county level, or
County maybe. State I still don't. I still think that I think all the state BS is controlled by someone even higher as well. I mean, look at the state of
do
Iowa.
you think it's controlled at the vote, or do you think it's controlled at the candidate?
Like if I understand your question, I feel like it's controlled at the candidate with the money. Because if you think about the state of Iowa, the majority of the people here are like us. But what kind of state is this? Not like us.
Right. Is there anybody that's coming up right now that's up for vote here this year?
That I would vote for? No.
That you like or hate? Is there anybody that you even that has rang your register? How are you out of that realm?
I'm sort of in it. I had a friend from high school named he goes by Marco Batilla now. I would 100% vote for him if they'd let him run again. But they're not letting him run. I don't remember his name, but there's a candidate that lost my vote over a text message. You know how they like spam your text with a text now? And this dude was like, he was trying to make some sort of joke about his disability to get, or no, like use his disability to get me to sympathize with him. And my old lady laughed because she saw, I opened up the text and was like, look at this. I'm like, you're barking up the wrong tree for that one. Like,
Not voting for you.
yeah. Your legs probably still fucking work. But yeah, no, I really do. I feel like the whole voting scheme is just to make us feel like we're making a difference and we're a part of it, but we're not. Because if that was the truth, not to get too far into it, but if that was the truth, do you really think you know who would really be in charge right now? Anyway, I don't even care about the politics side of that. He's a pedophile. Sorry.
Hey, this is GFG TV. You say what you want.
This is your place to speak.
Dude's,
your mind.
that's
Hey,
my biggest issue. Is
don't
that dude's a
influence.
kid toucher. I don't even care about the felon, like being a felon.
Yeah.
I got relatives that are felons,
Yeah, we can respect that.
but like, but you're a kid toucher.
Can't respect that.
No.
Can't respect that.
So, how important is mental health to what you want Crisis Child to represent?
So, I like talking about this because I think people, because I do have a lot of tracks out there that refer to mental health. I think people think I'm definitely a mental health advocate. I write more about my own, and I realized that recently, Mike. But I like that people can relate to it, and I like that people. I mean, I don't perform a lot of my sad stuff live anymore. But when I used to, I loved it when people would like come up and be like, I've had people like come up to me like, thank me for like some of those songs. And I'm like,
People can appreciate vulnerability because not everybody's confident enough to say it out loud, and music is a great way to express it without feeling like you're vulnerable.
like,
You obviously are vulnerable in that moment
Yeah.
because you're expressing your art, right? So as an artist, you're already vulnerable. So when you put out vulnerable material, I think it's easier for people to digest it because they already know that you're vulnerable enough to express yourself, and now you're vulnerable enough to talk about some of your deepest problems.
and I think what one of my next messages I want to make when it comes to mental health is, because even though we all say this and everyone says this to us till they're blue in the face, but like, stop being afraid to speak. Talk to someone, even if it's a faceless stranger.
Yeah.
Talk to someone. It doesn't have to be a PhD. Just talk to someone. Someone told me to try this a long time ago, and I still haven't done it. just because I don't know, I forget that I look like this, and people are like when I first like walk up to them. But someone was like, go up to a random stranger and ask them for the time, and that will just strike up conversation. I'm like,
If you could create the ultimate mixed genre fighting game, something in the spirit of Def Jam, but built around today's artists, what would the game look like?
I was thinking after I sent that to you, I was thinking about it, and I started giggling. I'm like, it would just end up looking like Celebrity Deathmatch if I was in charge of it, because because I was like, yeah, I'd want this guy in it, this guy in it, and then I started like naming off people that aren't even musicians. I'm like, yeah, and I want like I want like 50 Cent to like fight like the Kardashian brother and like
Those are fun though.
yeah.
That definitely does sound like Celebrity Deathmatch. That was one of the best shows ever.
It really was.
Today's Celebrity Deathmatch would go crazy.
Today's Celebrity Deathmatch would just get canceled because everyone's too sensitive.
Yeah,
but-
everybody is using that. That's what I'm saying. It would go crazy.
Like-
It would just be instantly. It
like-
was like a Fear Factor when it came back.
yeah.
Just can't be handled today. They drink that horse beep word, you know what I mean? And
Put like Cardi B and Kim Kardashian in a match or something.
yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So, Angry Elf features HBK of Cellar Boys, Black Cat Bill, Jesse Hernandez, and potentially one more surprise guest. What can you tell us about the album's overall sound and direction?
So right now, the three featured songs that you named off are currently streaming on YouTube, nowhere else.
Okay.
I'm gonna be taking them down eventually.
Where can
When
they find the YouTube? What's the link for your
Crisis
YouTube?
Child YouTube.
Crisis Child YouTube. Okay. Crisis Child on YouTube.
Yep. Once I'm a little more prepared to bring, because the Angry Elf album's only gonna be physical at first. I'm not gonna put it on streaming services right away. And what essentially got me to make that one and title it that is I'm embracing it's apparently an insult. So people like to, because of that stupid ass movie, people like when they see me like freaking out, I'm like, oh, he's an angry elf. And so that's literally just where that title came from. And I was like, yeah, I am. But it's in the album art that I'm having made for it, it's being drawn by a guy out of Omaha, Michael McDreadle, from Dreaded GFX. It'll have a good representation of why I'm such an angry elf, because the stuff, the content of the album is like me and Black Cat Bill's song. It's a little different than what you would normally hear from us, but that song, like if you go watch the video that I made for it, that song is actually about victims of war, specifically like the children, and not just one specific war, just like violence as a whole. Because why did that child have to get shot in a drive-by? Or and I remember that the video that actually like it brought me to tears and made me start writing the song. It's the one war going on over the Middle East, and there's footage on a playground of a bomb dropping on a playground. And yeah, that just messed me up, and that's where the song comes from. So it's essentially the content is about just why I'm so angry. I'm angry because there's just all these kids dying over some silly shit. Like the song that me and HBK did together, TDM, is about people still just like, that one's more or less my final straw song, being like, dude, mind your business and stop trying to bring everyone else down. Sort of a song. And then of course Bola de Fuego is the most recent song that I put out with Jesse Hernandez. That song is just another one of my angry at the powers that be. I essentially just point out how everything is just a big distraction, including electing a billionaire to look over us.
Yeah.
It's just a giant distraction.
You can trust him with your money. So you've joked that there's a lot of silly things in regular life that keeps pushing us back. Is that like a part of the Angry Elf story itself now?
Mine as well be, yeah. And when I say silly, that's just a word I use. It's silly things means like bad, shitty things.
Yeah. Your fun word for trauma.
Right. Yeah, it's just like, because I've got a home to maintain. I've got kids and a family to fucking take care of and look after. And then, of course, all the other stuff to keep life going.
Life be lifing.
Yeah, life be lifing. Like one, I remember I was like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna, spend my money on going to the studio this weekend, and no, I had to spend it on a car. And stuff like that, and it's just like one little thing after another, been having random home repairs and crap, so yeah, like I said, silly things in life that keep happening.
Yeah.
So let's do it basketball style. Okay, you're the head coach. Okay, you need 5 starters, Des Moines musicians, maybe not necessarily Des Moines, but Iowa musicians. Okay, and you're gonna coach them up. You're gonna put these 5 rappers, musicians into the studio, and you guys are gonna make the fire music, the best music to put up against anybody in the world.
Just from Iowa?
Just from Iowa. Who's your starting 5?
Well, to save room, I definitely want Dirt Nasty there to help with the production. I would really like to bring in Alex from Carousel Studio for his, not just his expertise, but also his musicianship. Now we need someone to write.
He's building it well-rounded.
Yeah, that's another artist that plays live music as well too, right? He knows how to play instruments. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
Alex Arthur, yeah.
Yeah. Multi-talented guy.
Very.
Multi-genre guy.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And then, oh man, we have way too many good lyricists in this in this town alone. I'd really, if I could, fuck it, do it. I'll do what I want. You, Cold Saint, and myself, and the 2 I actually named out.
There you go.
Because it's not me, and it's not me being biased. It's because we're storytellers,
Respect.
and that's essentially how I like to write. I like to tell a story. So.
Okay. Tell us 3 recommendations to eat at in Des Moines.
So shout out Otis Julius. You know how he loves pizza. I keep telling him he can't. My favorite pizza joint is like sort of in the middle of the city, Felix and Oscars,
Okay.
by Merle Mall.
F&O.
That would be my first recommendation, because I don't even normally like deep dish pizza.
Yeah.
But something about their
They
deep,
do it well.
yeah, very well. It's almost like a lasagna with a crust. It is so good.
Chicago deep dish, like that style, like super thick, like sauce on top.
Yeah,
Pizza.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
Where else? Oh, so I like a lot of fried food. I don't know how familiar with the south side of Des Moines you are. Smitty's is a place I would recommend. If they were still, on Army Post, if they were still around, place I'd recommend before. My all-time favorite restaurant from this city's gone. George the Chili King. Do you remember them over on Hickman?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's West Side.
I would definitely recommend.
Hello.
I would definitely recommend, even though there's a few of them, I'd recommend Tin Sao on the south side for Chinese. Just, I don't know. I've always had really good experience, and for some reason, that particular restaurant is better than all the other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the one, like, you go into that one, there's kids doing their homework and shit in the lobby and stuff. Like, it's, Give You a Belly.
Give me a belly belly.
I definitely recommend him.
Shout out Jason Morris.
Shout out Jason. Yeah, we have a lot of really awesome like local eateries.
Yeah.
Another one, and I'm not trying to be biased because I know someone that works there, but a place on the east side called the Hilltop.
Okay.
Good, awesome pizza, but the thing that you gotta get when you go there, they're called Italian egg rolls.
Okay.
Oh my god, dude.
The
What's
meat
in
rolls.
them?
So it's on the east side over wherever the Hilltop is. I mean, there's an area called the
Talk about
Hilltop.
these Italian egg rolls.
Yeah,
What's in
yeah.
those?
Yeah.
So it's like egg roll wonton, and it's like seasoned Italian sausage and marinara
Yeah.
sauce and
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
and
probably
cheese.
right. That's what I
Um,
was saying, meat filled.
yeah, it's basically meat filled
And
wonton.
then a lot of times they'll have like a little bit of sauce and cheese in this
Mhm.
section too as well.
Yeah, but just it's one of them things. The first time I ever had it, I made one of them like lazy eye faces and punched my fist on the table.
How did I not know about this?
Yeah,
you feel like a superhero. At that
Yeah.
point, you know what I mean?
All right, we're gonna jump into rapid fire. Okay, quick answers, no explanations. Corn or Fear Factory?
corn.
Punk or rap?
Say pop or rap?
Punk.
Oh, punk or rap? Punk.
Wu Tang or Bone Thugs?
Oh, Bone Thugs.
Xbox or PlayStation?
Xbox.
Movie soundtrack or video game soundtrack?
Movie soundtrack.
Mosh pit or circle pit?
Circle bit.
Studio or stage?
Stage.
Favorite 90s band?
The Offspring.
Favorite rapper?
Redman.
Favorite video game?
To Fallout.
Favorite movie?
The Exorcist.
Best Des Moines venue?
Doesn't exist anymore.
Sad face. Wah, wah, wah.
I mean, it's about to reopen under the name Strict 9.
Talk your shit. Most underrated Crisis Child song?
Honestly, we talked about it today. Silent Passenger.
Favorite song to perform live?
Focus.
Artist you'd most want to collaborate with?
Jonathan Davis from Korn.
Dream tour lineup?
Me and Dropout Kings.
One artist you think everyone should hear?
Black Eyed Bill.
Most chaotic show you've played?
I'll just say my last time ever performing at the Whole Avenue.
Most memorable crowd?
Hannity.
One word to describe Angry Elf?
Angry.
We're gonna do finish the sentence. I knew I wanted to make music when
I heard it.
The first album that changed my life was?
Smashed by the Offspring.
nu metal isn't dead because
I'm helping keep it alive.
The Des Moines music scene needs?
More venues.
my favorite thing about performing live is
The people.
The worst thing about performing live is?
The people.
if I could have been in any band, it would be
Primer 55.
If I could collaborate with anyone in music, it would be?
Jonathan Davis again.
the song I wish I had written is
Pass.
My music sounds best when?
Live.
mental health matters because
If you don't focus on it, you're going to lose yourself.
Society would be better if?
We all got the fuck along.
if I made a Def Jam style game, the first character I create would be
Bushwick Bill.
Angry Elf is going to?
Make people happy.
Crisis Child will never.
Grow up.
10 years from now, I want to be able to say?
I'm still here.
If listeners take away one thing from my music, I want it to be
Be yourself.
At the end of the day, I'm just.
Me.
Thank you for sitting down with us here at GFG TV.
Thank you.